Welcome into the locker room. It is a Clasico preview edition. It's the game that's like a B12 shot to Ray Hudson. He's been a little under the weather this week, but the biggest rivalry in football has given this man some life, and he's back with us.
Thank you, welcome back.
Glad to have you here, Ray.
Life's been a cruise for you, hasn't it?
Tony Cruz.
Tony Cruz. Yeah, let's get talking about Real Madrid. Before we do go forward, let's go back to Tuesday's Champions League win for Real Madrid over Victoria Pilsen. Now, it did end their 5-match winless run, but it didn't really stop the criticism. It still showed there is a lot of room for improvement, and that dagger still is weighing heavy on Julian Lopetegui.
Oh, it's like Zinedine Zidane just strapped the sword. It's the sword of Florentino hanging over his head. You take a look at what he was able to do, and that was get a win in a difficult situation. Just normal circumstances, you say, okay, maybe they had to force their way through, but they were able to get it done, especially considering the fact that you have such big matches around this as well. This is going to be a very intriguing performance because much of the media in Spain is saying he's already done. They just don't have time to hold the press conference to announce it. Plus, also, there's perhaps a little bit of hesitance in the fact that if they go in with a new coach into the Clasico and the first performance of the new coach is to lose against Barcelona, not a good way to start out. But then the question becomes, what if they win? And now he's got 2 wins on the trot in the Champions League and against your arch rivals.
Let me just go back. You say this was a tough match for them? Victoria, who again?
Pilsen. They're an attractive
brewery
team.
company?
And they had their chances as
They
well.
actually did. In fact, even late when Barcelona went down.
It's a small team playing at the Bernabeu with a chance to get a draw in the final minutes.
But I'm saying normal circumstances, Gary. This is one of those pitfall matches they were able to escape with 3 points.
I don't think you can cover it up, though, Phil. With all due respect, I think Gary's right. It was a bad performance. I mean, you can't fool that crowd.
The stadium let them know.
They let them know at the end.
They were patient early.
It wasn't good. It was not good. And this is a team that's won 1 of the last 6, Thomas. There's stink.
I'm still encouraged. It was Cruz's best performance, by the way, after he got a rest since the World Cup, in my opinion. Benz gets back in the scoreboard.
That's right.
A great goal as well.
Yep.
Cruz gets bailed through offsides. And then, you know what, Nacho and Ramos might be better than Varane and Ramos, because Varane and Modric have both underperformed because of World Cup situations as well. So I'm still bullish on this team, and they needed to get a win. It wasn't pretty, but there were a few players that had underperformed that I think will be ready for this as well. The big questions to me are Isco and Asensio, the 2 guys that Lopetegui loved with the Spanish national team, and your only Galactico left maybe is Gareth Bale, and he needs to stand up and be. Yes.
You're bullish about a team that's playing horrendous football. They need a miracle to save their manager. I don't know what there is to be bullish about.
I'm bullish along with Thomas to a point because, again, Karim Benzema, he got the performance that he needed to maybe
got a goal.
Maybe come off
against
Victoria
Pilsen.
You know what, though? After 7 games without a goal, I'll take it.
He played well before this as well. He's starting to come
small pickings, though, isn't it? This is Real Madrid. You expect
this is a team on paper, and Thomas, you pointed this out. Every statistic out there, they're dominating the opposition. The only one that they're not
is the one that counts.
But you know what? You've played this game long enough. It's a streaky game.
But
sooner or later, those balls are going to go in.
To small teams. It's struggling to beat Victoria Pilsen. It's getting hammered by Sevilla, not by 1 but by 3 goals. Come on.
Fede Valverde, yes, 20-year-old Uruguayan, could play a role maybe. And Vincentius is also eligible to play.
He's eligible.
You don't see him in a starting position, but
later on in the game, you're right,
maybe.
Especially with Barcelona, the way they play, and I think this will be an open game. The substitutes for Real Madrid, Valverde, but especially Vinicius is going to be an impactful footballer.
And the players. The players come out every day and support him. It's unbelievable.
So they support him verbally, but surely now they've got to show it on the pitch.
They need to get W's, and they don't want Conte, by the way.
Yeah, I know, there's a lot of talk about
correct.
that.
Exactly.
They need to get wins. They need to play better, and they're not. And they're going well, that's the big question. They're going to the No Camp against a very good Barcelona side.
Okay, we're going to return to Real Madrid talk in just a moment because we'll also look back on Barcelona. They had a convincing win over Inter midweek in the Champions League. Rafinha came in and scored, and Barca showed that they can get it done without Messi. Question is that the starting 11 for Ernesto Valverde this weekend?
I think it probably will be. The Rafinha situation might be the one. He does make a change with Dembele, but no, this was a good, solid performance by Barcelona team, lacking the inspiration of Messi, because basically Barcelona, whenever they get into those tight situations in any game, it's, well, get it to Messi and he'll solve it, and he does. He's not there, so they needed every player to step up. Suarez with that fabulous pass, world-class pass. Like Benzema, for me, just starting to come to the boil at the right time. It was a good, solid performance by Barcelona.
The older guys that been there for Messi really stepped up. I looked at their faces. Piqué, Busquets, and Suarez joined in as well. But really, who emerged from the ashes of Messi while he was watching? Arturo Melo. This kid is unbelievable. Textbook La Masia. His understanding of time and space is Barcelona-like, the style that they like to play.
Been there for a while.
Kid was great. Started at Wembley with Messi against Tottenham, and it's been the catalyst for them as well.
There was times in it where he was very Iniesta-like, and in a meld of Xavi as well. But still such a young player. He needs to... Amazingly, for all the compliments, he still needs to step it up in this game. I think there's a lot of players that need to really up the ante on both sides in a big way.
Less so on Barca. I think Barca have been, I mean, they've only lost one, whereas Real Madrid has lost 4. But in that midfield, we're not seeing more of a 4 with Rafinha was more of a midfielder going into be a false 9. I still think they'll play Sergi wide, but it'll be with 4. It's a more careful Valverde, but it's a very hard team to break down given all the players.
In answer to your question earlier today when we were on Sports Burst, I kind of thought it was going to be Dembele, but you see the situation with Arturo Vidal, how he has just been buried deeper and deeper onto the bench. In some ways, Valverde is still trying to lay claim and hold on to the reins for this Barcelona beast. Dembele might have a little penance to pay. I think it would be a stronger team, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's Rafinha.
Interesting here is Real loses, they could be in 10th place. They win, the 1 point behind the great Barcelona team, by the way. It was so great.
We're going to return to talk about El Clasico in just a moment, but let's head to Madrid, where our reporter Gabriela Amado has been following the goings-on at Real Madrid this week. She has the latest for us now from the Spanish capital. Hey, Gabby.
Hi, Kay. Our final day in Madrid is here. We are 2 days away from El Clasico, and I am in La Plaza Mayor, and it's buzzing just like Madrid is buzzing today about news about Antonio Conte. News that he has reached an agreement with Chelsea to terminate his contract has officially bumped him to the top of the list as managers who could potentially replace Julen Lopetegui if Sunday does not go as planned. A win or he is out is what they're saying here in Madrid. Yesterday it was Jose Mourinho at the top of the list, and today it is Antonio Conte. But Madridistas saying this may be a strange appointment, considering we all know that Conte likes to play with 3 at the back, and Real Madrid only have 3 center backs. They have Ramos, Nacho, and Varane, and so this would mean restructuring the entire team. But hey, before we sack Lopetegui, he still has to manage this team on Sunday, and there is good news for the Spanish boss. Marcelo is in training again today. He trained yesterday. We reported that he will be at the Camp Nou, and it is confirmed he will be there. Another piece of good news, or perhaps a headache for Lopetegui, is that Vinicius Jr.'s red card that he picked up in Castilla versus Celta Vigo B at the weekend has been reversed. The second yellow that he got for diving was overturned, and so he is available for Lopetegui for Sunday's match. Will he use him? That's to be determined, because he's only played around 12 minutes all season long, and so Lopetegui hasn't been too keen on using him. And the third big decision that Julen Lopetegui has to make is who he will start at right back. With Carvajal out, Carvajal did train today, but without the ball, so he will not be available for Sunday. He has a decision to make. Will it be Nacho? Will it be Lucas Vazquez? Or will it be Odriozola, the player that he brought in as a left back, a backup for a right back, pardon me, as a backup for Carvajal, who he hasn't used much this season, so he will decide between those 3. And that's the question I'll leave for you guys at the table. You're Lopetegui, your job is on the line. You have to win El Clasico. Who do you start? Nacho, Lucas Vazquez, or Odriozola?
Thank you, Gabby. Putting a question out there, and it's an interesting one as well, because if you look in Diario AS today, that's the Spanish press, they've gone Nacho / Odriozola. But let's not forget, Zinedine Zidane did put Lucas Vazquez in at right back a couple of times.
I don't like it.
To some success, but not against Barca. The one thing with Nacho, I think, that hurts him in this situation, he's so useful in so many different places. And with Marcelo limping off the field last game, you might want to hold off in case you need to use Nacho at left back. So I think
it's experience as well. I think in these sort of games you want someone who's more mature, who's more experienced. Nacho is that player because he's dead man walking, Lopetegui. He's done, unless his only little escape from the drop here is he wins this, as you said, only 1 point behind. He wins the next couple, Valladolid, Eibar, 1 or 2 of those, and suddenly he could be top of the league. So he must make decisions which impact his career.
He's got to be brave.
He's got to make the right decisions.
Okay, but that balance between, being cautious and being brave in this game, this is not a game that scares the Madridistas or Real Madrid. They go to Camp Nou and they get results.
It livens them up.
It really does. You go back all the way back to in the history books in the last 6, 7, 8 years, back to the Mourinho days and Capello days. They got results there. This is going to be a situation where I think Real Madrid have to be brave for their not just for their coach, but I think the coach has got to be brave with this lineup, and that's why I like Odriozola for coming in and being more adventurous.
Honest, maybe?
Yeah, in a big way.
Is he going to have to look at maybe countering on a few occasions here and making sure that works against the Barcelona side like this?
I would stay with Ramos and Nacho centrally. After Varane was so poor last weekend, I would stay with those two. I play Vasquez for the reason is Coutinho without Messi right now is playing out to in. So he'll become the playmaker. He ends up against Casemiro. So Vasquez's responsibility becomes Alba from deep positions. And he can deal with Alba because Alba's not an out-and-out winger. So that's actually pretty good. But Alba, what I mean is Alba comes from deep, Ray. Yeah. It's not like he has to face Coutinho 1v1 all the time who's going to dribble.
Right.
Coutinho will come inside to play make a little bit.
So why not Odriozola, who can do the exact same thing, plus has the burners to maybe make Alba think in reverse.
Vasquez started for that team Spain a few times when Lopetegui was there. He knows Vasquez. I think there's a reason why he started him Wednesday. Not just to rest Varane, but also
it's
to
risky
look
though
at the
either way,
Barca
isn't
game.
it? I mean, you could take any one of those three and say Nacho will give you more in defence and allow the midfielders and attackers to do their thing. Gareth Bale, Odriozola might give you more attacking. Vasquez gives you a lot more attacking.
So it all depends on his game plan then.
Really, and this coach knows these players. I mean, Odriozola was one of his players that he brought up through the youth system in Spain as well. So it's, and these are the decisions. These fine decisions is what's going to cost this game. We see it every time. It's in it's in the blink of a bee's eye where decisions are made, where headers are won. The one player that we haven't talked about in this is Umtiti. For me, this is going to be a big loss. As well as the combination of Langley and Piqué have played, Umtiti has been that type of player that shuts them down, that does enough, and I think that's going to be a big miss.
Bale plays in the right soul coming into right there with his pace, right, Alba goes forward. That's where they could be vulnerable. Set pieces, huge as well, and stopping the counter. Because Sevilla has shown against both teams how you can score goals. 3 against Madrid, 2 against Barca, could have been 4. And to be real honest with you, if Ter Stegen is in Real Madrid's goal, Real Madrid would be leading La Liga right now because Courtois has been poor.
Well, you know what? If they had Navas in goal, they might be leading.
Thank you. Exactly.
In this game as well, because of the Clasico, we've got to remember as well that these players aren't looking at like this. They're not looking at form. It all goes out the window. It truly does. They're not looking to say, well, they're not playing too well. They've only won 1 in the last 6. This is Real Madrid, and they're going to go in there against the Barcelona team that always, by their DNA, come out and play you, and that's where they're going to be at their most vulnerable. And the counter-attack with the likes, with the pace that they have, in especially Gareth Bale.
I was just about to mention it. This is a game that he has to perform
because he's got a step up
first couple of games he looked sharp. He hasn't done it then. You've got no CR7. Benz is not quite the same player. The one that can turn this match around for Real Madrid is Gareth. If he doesn't, I don't see where it comes from. I don't see where the spark is for Real Madrid.
Who's been,
if you're talking about pace and counter-attacking football, is he not somebody who you should be looking at?
But he's been so poor. There's been times where I've been going on at times at half-time when we've been doing the Real Madrid game. What the hell happened to Asensio?
Can't rely on him for this match.
The opportunity is there.
But
you've got to gamble, Barry. this is do or die for Lopetegui.
Oh, sure,
Maybe he does go and say, you know, Isco, my favourite player in Real Madrid, you may want to pull him out and put Asensio in.
If he's talking about what he's talking about,
good
though, with that
tactical.
speed and that counter-attacking style, then that is
Asensio's
somewhere
the
where
man, though.
Isco's not as strong.
Right.
in
Isco's
that
better
system.
playing the balls through for Bale and getting him behind the back for Asensio. Asensio's a light player. We call him great at home, but away from home when you need
One
someone to
other
get stuck
concern,
in.
though, Gary, is the fact that we're taking a look. There's a very good chance, because, again, they might need Sergio Roberto somewhere else. Semedo will be there. Much more of a lockdown defender at the right back. And Piqué, after playing horribly for the first 2 months of the season, coming on his best stretch of the season right now. So it might be a little bit harder for Asensio. Maybe that would be the counter for an Isco who could set someone else up.
Correct. And Modric still has to be the engine again. You know, like he was in the World Cup.
Close
He's been in
to it,
There's
is he?
nowhere close, and he is so important. And then you can put Asensio or Isco out there. It will be Benz and Bale.
Football being what it is, all of these things come, and this is the game where all of this, the bad form of Modric and Isco and even Marcelo, all of this sort of stuff, it doesn't matter. Because you watch on this game on Sunday, they will come alive in a ways that will shock everybody. And as I've said before, you think we know the game and we try to write it out, and it'll make fools of us all. I'm going to take Real Madrid to win this game.
Okay, well,
against
hold
the
that
odds.
thought, because we're going to bring our predictions next here on the Locker Room. El Clasico is coming up on Sunday. A quick reminder, you can see it nationwide right here on beIN Sports. You can't see it on DirecTV or Xfinity. So help your friends out if they are with those providers. Make sure they don't miss it. They do still have time to switch over to another provider to see La Liga's Super Showdown. Still to come, El Clasico predictions. I think we know which way Ray Hudson is leaning. Welcome back to our Clasico preview on the Locker Room. This weekend we'll have the biggest game in football live and exclusive, which means we've all been asked who we think is going to win it. Prediction time here now on the Locker Room with our commentators, our pundits and myself as well. Where are we starting? We're starting with you, Gary Bailey.
Yeah, it's got to be Barcelona. You know, 17 points ahead of Real Madrid last season. Both have lost to Galactico for different reasons. I still think they're way too strong. I've got Suarez and Coutinho to score a couple of goals. Benz, a nice goal for Real Madrid. And unfortunately, Lopetegui to leave on Monday morning.
All right, Thomas.
I'm going with Real Madrid. I think this team is going to respond under this pressure, and they care about this coach, and they have enough talent. The stats are all there. It's just a matter in that final third being more clinical. All the matchups are pretty good. Marcelo, by the way, 2 goals in his last 2 games. Could make the difference. Bale, stand up and be accounted for. Who's going to mark Coutinho? Big question for Real Madrid. Real Madrid 2, Barca 1.
Phil.
I'm going to go asterisk on a draw, and that's basically because I think the goals that Barcelona got midweek said more about Inter's defense than I think it does about Barcelona's attack. If Navas is out there, I think Real has a chance for the win. I think it'll be Courtois. I think it'll be a draw.
Ray.
Yeah, I'm going to go against the grain as well. Everything points to Real Madrid, to Barcelona, but Real Madrid, there's more on the line for them. And going into Camp Nou, they know how to do it. I'm taking Real Madrid.
Okay.
Want to bet? Can I bet you two?
Well, all the bookmakers have gone with Barcelona. I'm going with Barcelona in this one. Momentum definitely in their favour right now, and a nice and evenly balanced prediction slate for you there. El Clasico, 10 Eastern here on beIN Sports. Our coverage begins. It's a full preview with Gary, Thomas and me. Jamie Easton is with Victor Sanchez at the Camp Nou. Gabriel Amado with all the buzz around the stadium. She'll be up in Barcelona as well. Phil Shane and Ray Hudson in the booth. It is a day of classic rivalries on Sunday. Marseille versus PSG. Predictions when we come back. Welcome back to the Locker Room. Le Classique hits the calendar on Sunday. It's Marseille against PSG. Now, the Parisians may be dominating the French top flight right now, but we're asking if they're going to be vulnerable after that midweek shake-up they were given by Napoli in the Champions League. So we're going to get the predictions of the panel here. and ask that you watch this game because it is a big Sunday of action here on beIN Sports. Phil, who are you going for?
There's so many ways you can go for that PSG thing. Could be a total disappointment. They almost lost to Napoli. Could be a huge push that they ended up coming back to grab a point. I'm going to go for the latter because they've had so much success against OM in recent years. I'm going to say PSG.
All right, Phil going with the Parisians, the visitors in this one. Ray?
PSG in an absolute moonwalk. I think this will be a comfortable, authoritative win. It'll be a big bounce back. I did the game with Andres Scudero, the Marseille-Nice game there the other week. Was not impressed with Marseille.
They've won 7 of their last 8 at home.
I know. At home, they're a good side, but I still think Paris will be able to contain them, and I'm taking PSG all the way.
2 for the Parisians there. Gary, are you going for the draw?
I am going for the draw, yeah. And the reason is Marseille are at home, and you're right, they've got a fantastic home record. They drew 2-2 last season, and I think PSG are coming off a match which has really dented their confidence. And big question for me is with PSG, they cannot play 4-up in future against top teams like Napoli. They can't. They're going to get destroyed. So are they going to change their tactics? And if they don't change them, they could go out of European Champions League. If they do change them, they're going to be vulnerable. So Marseille for the draw.
Well, let's mix it up a bit. Can you mix it up even more, Tom?
No, I can't, but I agree with Gary. Verratti went crazy at Mbappe and Neymar for the last 2 games as well. Tuchel under pressure. They might not make it out of the group. Invested $350 million, and they're reeling right now. Ligue 1 is too easy for this team, and they will win. Thauvin injured, leading goal scorer for Marseille.
Yeah.
That might be very tough. But Tuchel went after a journalist. I'm telling you, Bayern goes up. Crisis at PSG right now.
Yeah, I'm not a crisis. Well,
Yep.
big statement. I like it.
Third place
I like
in the
it.
UCL, not making it out of the group. Is a
Almost their whole
crisis.
back
I
line
like
is a
it.
question mark this
It's
weekend,
League
too.
crisis, not League
Le
classic.
What do you reckon?
Sorry,
Can you
guys.
go for them?
I'm
Marseille?
not going for Marseille, but I am going to make it nice and symmetrical and go for PSG myself in that one. So there you go.
So it's
Bit of
just me
symmetry there.
who
Just
believes
you,
in
Gary.
Marseille
fact,
might do something.
Yeah, for once,
Wow.
your draw has actually been the most controversial of all the picks there. Now, just a quick reminder that you will be able to see El Clasico nationwide right here on beIN Sports. You won't be able to do that on DirecTV or Xfinity, though, so help your friends out. Make sure they don't miss it. They do still have time to switch over to another provider to see La Liga's Super Showdown, and then a little later on in the day, Le Clasico, which we were just talking about. It's a massive day of action here on Sunday on beIN Sports. Thanks for watching us on another show. We will be back on Monday to break it all down, but make sure you're with us all weekend because this is a weekend not to be missed on beIN Sports.